The extrusive igneous textures are basically centered around the fact that you cannot see any mineral crystals with the naked eye. So the basic extrusive texture is the aphanitic texture. The aphanitic texture is usually displayed by extrusive igneous rocks like rhyolite and basalt. So we have number 43 is rhyolite, and here is an alternative sample so you can see that we cannot see individual mineral crystals. Now in rhyolite, because of the manner and how it's formed, you may see fragments of volcanic glass in your sample. So if you do see any flashes of light coming off of your sample of luster, that is most likely fragments of volcanic glass. And then here we have basalt. Basalt is our mafic variety of our extrusive igneous rocks, and you can see that we cannot see any individual mineral crystals with the naked eye. That is our criteria for being an aphanitic texture. Now, my particular sample from the Rock and Mineral Kit for number 42, which is basalt, displayed an aphanitic texture, but it also possessed a vesicular texture. So when it comes to extrusive igneous rocks, they can have more than one texture. So here we have a few holes where air bubbles were trapped while the lava cooled. And so this particular sample has a vesicular texture and an aphanitic texture. So here's a larger sample of something like that. This is vesicular basalt. And you can see that we have the holes and the individual mineral crystals that are not visible to the naked eye. That is characteristic of very quick cooling at the Earth's surface. Another example of the vesicular texture can be seen in number 41. This is scoria. Scoria is made from lava, but it is also almost kind of like a whipped variety or a mousse variety of lava where it has a great deal more air mixed into the lava, so it is much lighter in weight. And here is a larger sample of scoria. If you use bags of lava rock for your landscaping around your yard, that is scoria. And that's exactly where this came from. Another vesicular texture is pumice. There's number 40. Now, pumice is another igneous rock that can possess more than one texture. Now, for my sample in the Rock and Mineral Kit, it's mainly vesicular in texture. If you feel it, it does feel a little bit chalky almost, but it is glass, so be very careful as you handle it. Now, I have a sample from my collection of pumice that displays the glassiness as well as the vesicular texture of pumice. So you can see those individual holes from the air that was trapped within the lava. But you could also see that glassiness to it, and that's because this is glass. So if you use a pumice stone for grooming and hygiene, it's usually not the real deal, because the real deal is glass and it will cut you. Usually it's a synthetic pumice or a pumice that has been crushed up and remolded. Alright, so pumice can have a vesicular and glassy texture. So let's take a look at the glassy textures out of our kit. Here's number 21 and 51. 21 is obsidian, and we see that great conchoidal fracture there. But when obsidian is actually very unstable at the Earth's surface, so as it is exposed to water, it breaks down into number 51, which is called pitchstone. So pitchstone used to be obsidian, and we can see remnants of that in my sample, but it's just an older, broken down, more exposed sample of obsidian. So it's called something different to differentiate it between the fresh obsidian and the broken down obsidian. Okay, here's another variety of obsidian. This is called mahogany obsidian. And obsidian, you can look it up on the internet, just pictures of different types of obsidian. They can be just absolutely gorgeous. particularly the rainbow obsidian. So this is just a variety called mahogany obsidian. Now finally we have the porphyritic texture again, because even though we have individual crystals in a porphyritic rock that can be seen with the naked eye, porphyritic rocks are technically extrusive igneous rocks because they have to be erupted in order to finish being made. And so we have that aphanitic background in between all of those phenocrysts, which tells us that we have these phenocrysts that formed while the magma was cooling slowly beneath the surface, and then that magma erupted, that partially solidified magma erupted and finished cooling on the surface. So technically a porphyritic texture is an extrusive igneous rock. Now in the lab activity, you will specifically take a look at number 52. Number 52 is andesite, the intermediate composition extrusive igneous rock. Andesite is known for having a variable texture, so it could be completely aphanitic or it could be porphyritic. So I want you to take a look at your sample to see what you have.